Hello, my name is Peggy Adams, President of the League of Women Voters Flint area. With partners Communities First and Flint Beat, we share a purpose to engage, empower, and educate local voters. We're happy to bring you a virtual community forum today to help you decide which candidate for Genesee County Commissioner in your district will get your vote. The Board of Commissioners makes important decisions about how your tax dollars are spent, so knowing about your candidate is important. All candidates for these offices were contacted. Some candidates chose not to participate for a variety of reasons. We hope you'll listen carefully to those who have and check vote411.org to see if there is a written response from the others. All were informed that they would need to comply with certain rules, such as refraining from comments on other persons and only taking this opportunity to tell voters about their own qualifications, priorities, and outlook. All candidates were asked the same questions and all had the same time to answer. Thank you, and we look forward to an informative discussion. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Before we begin, I'm just going to let you know that some of these might seem like some gigantic questions to answer in 2 minutes. They're open-ended for a reason. Whatever is most important to you is what you'll need to talk about. The first question is, what background and experiences have prepared you for this office? I'm just going to go in alpha order. Mr. Avery, would you care to go?
Sure. Thank you for the opportunity. So my background personally, born and raised in Flint, Michigan, and then moved to Grand Blanc in 1975. As far as community work, I've served 11 years with the Grand Blanc School Board of Education, 5 of those as president. Also in my professional job list, I worked as a teacher, administrator in education, and also with our Flint Genesee Chamber of Commerce, where I have the capacity of working in our communities in all different types of forums, whether it be with education or in business. I work with all 21 school districts in the past. And so just the networking and relationships there has caused me to have those one-on-one opportunities with individuals who may play a part in my role as a county commissioner. And again, my background community, I really thrive on because I was given the opportunity, I took advantage of it, and now I use it for the resources I need to really fulfill the capacity that I serve as county commissioner.
Thank you. Ms. Chambers?
Thank you. My background, I had a 20-year career in the property and casualty insurance industry. I did give up that career when my middle child was born. He had special needs, and so I made the choice to stay home with my children at that time. I have stayed active, though, within my role as mostly a stay-at-home mom. I've taken positions surrounding my children's school schedules. I did work for several years in the funeral industry at local cemetery and funeral homes, and which I gained a lot of compassion for people, and I've always been compassionate about things, and that really opened my eyes to a lot more in life. And I have always been active in the nonprofit sector. I currently am the president of the board for Equine Escape in Goodrich, Michigan, which is they are a equine therapy program. We work with at-risk youth, special needs individuals, human trafficking victims, and veterans and first responders. And I work mostly as the parent advocate. I help parents find the resources, work with their IEPs, things like that for their children, mental health resources. And I also have sat on the board for the Eastern Michigan Hockey Association for several years, working with the youth hockey programs, and Rico Phillips Flint Inner City Youth Hockey Program.
Thank you both. Moving to the next question. And we'll go now in reverse order. Ms. Chambers will go first. What are your priorities for the 2023-2024 term?
There's a lot to go over there. Well, some of the biggest issues that our county is facing right now, one of the big issues is the legacy costs, and it doesn't seem to be getting addressed as to how they are going to maintain that in the future. So that is something that I would like to see happen with the board in the future. I would like to see no more lawsuits happen with the retirees. Because that's not how we need to spend our funds. The fiscal responsibility within the county. I think there are a lot of places where we could cut costs and help with those things. They've mentioned, having more millages and taxing the community and economic development projects, and I don't feel that would bring businesses to our area if we are raising taxes for the businesses, and we do want to bring more people into our county. I would like to see more representation for the outlying communities and municipalities, rather than a lot of our tax dollars. Grand Blanc Townships, Forts Creek, Fenton, all of these areas are the bigger contributors to the tax dollars in the county, and they don't see a lot of return on that. What we are seeing is a lot of activity in the Flint area. I don't disagree that Flint needs help, but I do think that some of our municipalities do need to see a bigger return on some of that stuff. Crime is a huge issue. Our police force are struggling. We have criminals being released from jail the same day that they're arrested. There's been incidents from officers where they've had to rearrest the same person in the same day after they already picked them up once. And I don't think we're going to be bringing people into our communities for the economic development if we don't get crime under control. Thank you.
Mr. Avery.
Hi, I too would like to address the legacy cost issue. What I found, and I've dealt with this with a lot of negotiating in the past with boards and staff and education, communication is lacking. Communication to the population of legacy costs have not taken place as they should have in the past. I would say I walked right into this buzzsaw. I'm not expecting, that type of environment where there wasn't that communication. But that's what I would like to bring to the table is understanding where can we go to compensation or compromised area for the legacy. I'm a firm believer in taking care of those who worked for you. I'm an advocate of that. And I also understand there's a business to run going forward. And so what I would like to bring to the table, I continue bringing to the table is opportunity for that forum where those who are retirees will be able to bring in ideas that may help assist us in making decisions that are lucrative for both themselves and the county. A lot of the spending, I would like to have spending for the ROI, return on investment, meaning that in order to grow, you have to have attractiveness. You have to have that forum where people will want to come into your community and spend dollars. And so that's what I look to bring to continue with the journey is opening up those avenues of really increasing the revenue opportunities versus taxing. No one wants to get taxed. I don't like to get taxed. I know it's a common rule. You have to abide by it, but you shouldn't have to depend on it. So what I would like to do is bring that different form, that different opportunity for raising revenue to compensate and mitigate the cause of having to tax businesses. Thank you.
Thank you both again. Question number 3. How will you respond to constituent concerns? Let's see now. Mr. Avery, you go first this time.
Well, I can tell you I have. I started off with potholes. I thought that was my whole job, getting potholes filled. But again, constituents and myself being a resident want to be heard. And I think it's important when your community members are speaking to you to listen to them. And you may not be able to deliver the whole play that they're asking for, but at least they know that you have a consideration and you're looking at ways to come to some type of resolve of the matter. Intervening with the road commission, intervening with drain commission as I've done. I think most of the time, just that communication really plays a huge part in coming to that resolve. And that way, individuals know that if they did not get what they hoped for, they understand why not. And so I think it's vital for a person in this capacity to be able to have that skill level of being able to talk to any resident of our district or our county, to be able to be that intervener of situations that our particular seat gives that advantage for.
Ms. Chambers?
I am always open to speaking with constituents. I feel that everybody wants their voice heard, and that is something that's very important to our constituents. And I would do my best to listen carefully to what their needs are and find the resources that can solve their problems if possible. Not everything is going to be solvable, but we would certainly do my best to try to find those resources to do that. I am a people person. I like to talk. So I am definitely open to people reaching out to me with their concerns.
Thank you both. Question number 4. According to the U.S. Census, Genesee County's population declined 4.6% from 2010 to 2020. What policies would you pursue to help grow our county in the future? And I believe this time, Ms. Chambers, you would begin.
I think I would start with the community and economic development. We have to have people want to come back to our community. I believe in Genesee County, and I've lived here my entire life in different parts of the county. So I've seen, different areas in different aspects. I think if we can draw businesses in, we can draw more people in. If we can keep the taxes down, that is going to be a big draw, because if we just keep taxing people, they're not going to want to be here. We have to have housing for them. We have to have the jobs to go along with the housing, so that we don't keep ending up with blight in our county, because we bring in people and then there's no jobs and they can't maintain what they have. So those are some of the places where I think we would need to start, is with the community and economic development, to start bringing people back into our communities.
Mr. Avery?
Yeah, I think it's important when you're talking about bringing in new members to the community. You have to be mindful of having your municipality, your respective municipalities, a part of those conversations. Being in the Grand Blanc area in Goodrich, they should have more of a say as far as that particular area. I know as a county commissioner, you're a commission over the county itself, but you have a specific area. And I think it's mindful for each individual commissioner with their respective areas to be able to include those municipalities in discussions about economic growth, vitality, just means of being able to bring that attractiveness. Again, that's across the board. There's a lot of mobility in many counties, but Genesee County has potential. I think just developing that trust aspect is going to be key in the internal, so that in the external, that will be inviting for others to want to move their businesses here, work with students K through 12. We need teachers, so there's a lot of avenues here that we have to offer those type of policies or those type of opportunities towards. And I look forward to really cultivating those opportunities.
Ms. Chambers?
I already answered.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Okay, we are on to question number 5. What do you see as the role of county government in partnering with cities, villages, and townships across the county?
Well, I can hate to be redundant, but I will state again, just making sure that you have a conversation with your local municipality that you're oversight with, and bringing that back to the county forum. In the end, the county works as one. Whether there's a disagreement or not, we're still one board. And so bringing those different aspects to the table may be able to help another area in Genesee County. And so that's where I look for as far as municipalities or other sectors of our county. Yes, the conversation has always been about things that seem to be concentrated on Flint. Flint isn't the most need, but I do know that as I sat with the Grand Blanc schools, issues that happen in Flint will venture their way to the outlying county if they're not taken care of. And so I do think that there's an even kill there where, yes, you have to be mindful of the hub of the county, but you still should also have some verbiage or some input from your respective municipalities to play a part in bringing that consolidation for, resolve for the whole county.
Ms. Chambers?
I do believe that the Board of Commissioners and the county need to work together with the individual municipalities. The municipalities do need to have some input on what goes on, where their funds go. Using Grand Blanc Township as just an example, we are one of the townships that we put a lot of revenue back into the county. One of the areas would be the Parks and Recreations millage. We put in over $1 million per year out of Grand Blanc Township into the Parks and Recreations millage. We don't have a county park to maintain in Grand Blanc Township, but the county has worked with us in the past to fix ball fields in our local parks and things like that. So they've given back a little bit in some ways in that way. Our senior millage, we give a lot more than what our seniors get back in Grand Blanc Township too. But when people think of Genesee County, they do think of Flint. So we do need to help Flint because Flint is the hub of our county. And we want people to think positively, whether they're thinking of Grand Blanc, Flint, Genesee County as a whole. So I do believe that all of the municipalities do need to come together and make sure that countywide we have the resources and the things that are in place and needed for our constituents.
Thank you both. And now we're down to the last question. And this is about motivation. Why do you want to be a county commissioner? And I believe, let's see now. Okay, and I believe Ms. Chambers, you get to start with this one this time.
Okay. I have never been in politics before. I didn't see myself getting into politics. Over the last few years, I have started to pay attention more. I've always voted. I've always been a voter, things like that. But I started going to meetings. I started paying attention to what was going on. Some of the things that motivated me in the beginning were when, I have children that play sports, when my children were playing sports in a mask, and I started going down to the meetings to find out why there was such inconsistency with the mandates and things like that. That was like my driving force in the beginning. And then when I started to pay attention, I think that there's a lot of work that our county needs. I think there's a lot of different things that need to be changed in representation. Our Board of Commissioners, there are a lot of conflicts of interest on our current Board of Commissioners that we need commissioners that are working for everyone in this county, not for specific areas. And I really want to see the transparency and the fiscal responsibility and things turn around. I don't particularly want to pay more taxes myself, and I don't think that anybody else does either. I have attended the meetings for almost a year now and paid attention to what's going on. I have seen where costs could be cut. I have seen where the board is divided, and they're just the unwillingness to budge and do what is right for the community as a whole.
And Mr. Avery.
I definitely agree with the fact that this needs to be unison. What I would like to, and what motivates me is somehow I've been labeled the voice of reason wherever I go. And I'm not purposely trying to do that, but I listen, I observe, and then I try to do my best to resolve matters. And so what motivates me is I see there's an issue. I see there's a division. I see there's strife. The environment that we're in today is just, I never thought I'd see this day. But because of my experience in this area, I would like to utilize that to bring together versus to divide, to divide. And so I think it's very important for this person to be able to have that skill level, to be able to interact with anyone in the community. It shouldn't be one group. It shouldn't be for this sector. It should be for all community members. And so that's what motivates me, is that I have had the opportunity to grow relationships throughout the whole county. And so again, that's just part of my MO. I want to be the commissioner to be able to bring together versus divide. Fiscal responsibility, looking at opportunities to grow the economy, looking at opportunity for safety for all. So that's what motivates me, and I feel that I'm in that space now where I'm able to lend those skills and gifts that I have.
Well, thank you both for participating today. And win or lose, you have contributed to democracy by being willing to participate in a public forum and help voters decide what works best for them. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you.